You're listening to Off Script with Tiffany. This is real talk, random thoughts, and no script. Thanks for listening. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Off Script with Tiffany, where I share random thoughts. We have a real talk with no script. I just have a couple of little lines in my notes app. Thank you for joining me for another episode. I am your host, Tiffany. This is I think the sixth episode of our podcast. So for those who are returning, thank you for coming back. For those who are new, welcome. I think we got another subscriber. So shout out to the 11 of you all that support me. Thank you. So we are here today. This one is probably going to be shorter than the other podcast episodes. I'll be honest with you. I'm honestly just trying out my new space. I was coming home today from being out of town, and I was like, I think I want a different space to record. So I have a little corner in my bedroom that I'm recording from. If you've watched previous episodes, you will notice that I was recording, well, you may or may not know, but I was in my closet. So I've decided to just kind of find a little corner space, have a little setup with some lights and everything. And so we're just trying it out today. So this is probably going to be a really quick episode of our podcast. So to dive right in. So again, this past week, has been really good. It was spring break, much deserved, much earned, much anticipated spring break. If you work in education, you know, it's been a lot this year, but this week has been very relaxing. We went out of town. We went to Savannah because that is where my significant other lives. I'm in a long distance relationship, so we went down to his house, and my daughter's family lives down there, so it's just a really good place for us to go. So we got to spend some time down there the last 5 days, and we did our first college visit, y'all. I am not ready. So I have a daughter. I don't know if I've ever shared that with you guys, but she is in 10th grade. She's 15, almost 16, and we did our first college visit. Oh my gosh. So we went to Georgia Southern, which is actually where I went to school. That's my alma mater. So that had to be on the list. So we went there. We did the full visit. We took a tour of the campus. It was really great. She really liked it. So I was really excited for that. So that was really great. And then after that, she spent a couple days with her grandmother and her aunt. And then I had a couple days with my honey bunny. So we had a good time. We just got to chill, relax, connect. It was good. So we actually just got back earlier today. And so this weekend, we are going to kind of get back in the groove. I have a 5K to go to tomorrow. And then I have a lunch. And then that's really it for my weekend. So my weekend will be pretty chill and just trying to get back into the swing of things, because everybody knows if you are on a school break, that week goes by so fast, but the work week goes by so slow. So, but it was much deserved, much needed, much appreciated. I'm always grateful for time off when I can get it. So that was really great. And we know after spring break, it is go time. So we're getting ready for testing. You have the end of the year stuff. And then like summer will be here in a few weeks. So I'm excited. In May, there's a lot of good things coming up in May. I know I'm going out of town 3 times, 3 of the 4 weekends in May. I'll be out of town. So I'm going to Philadelphia. I'm going to Chicago, and I'll be back in Savannah, Memorial Day weekend. So a lot. May is a lot, but it'll be fun. So really excited there. So anyway, so just going to come to you with a couple of things today. First thing is my TikTok. So if you may or may not be familiar with TikTok, and there is this creator, I think her name is Sydney Joe, and she has had this TikTok world on pins and needles for the last maybe week or two, with a series called The Group Chat. So, and she is acting out all the parts. She is so talented. It was so great. And so this skit is about a group of friends. They have a group chat. Like, what group of friends doesn't have a group chat? And one character, Haley, is texting the group chat. They're all supposed to be going to dinner. And at the last minute, she's like, I'm inviting the boyfriend. Everyone's like, wait, what? Hold up. Like, no. And so everyone's kind of like on the side, kind of having these side conversations like, no, you can't bring the boyfriend. Like, this is last minute, so disrespectful. And so it's kind of that drama. So that kind of, that's the catalyst. That's kind of how it starts. And then from there, it kind of goes on. We find out that, they kind of tell Haley in a nice way. They're like, yeah, no, we really just want to be the girls. We really want to talk. You just kind of, we don't feel like he's comfortable. Let's do something else with the boyfriends next time so he can come. So she like gets upset. She leaves the group chat. It's a whole thing. Come to find out that she changed the reservation. She'd already changed the reservation like when she like weeks ago, and that like she was always planning to bring him. And then that just starts a whole nother set of drama. And then she eventually comes back to the group chat, and then she's like, well, let's go somewhere else and all this other stuff. And then we find out, I think in the last episode, episode 5, is that like Justin's like cheating on her. Well, we found that out in episode 4, that Justin, the boyfriend, Haley's boyfriend, is like cheating on her. There's another girl. Her name is Lucy. And in episode 5, we learn that Lucy and like Justin have been together since like college. And Haley, this whole time, was the side chick, and she knew it, and she wanted the friends to see him. It was a whole thing. It was so dramatic, but it was so juicy. And the way she told it and kept us on our pins and like, kept us on the edge of our seats. It was so dramatic. It was like the whole internet was talking about, oh my God. And then you see people like creating videos like as if they're like the waitresses at like, the waiters or waitresses at the restaurant with the whole drama ensues. It's like, it's crazy. But it was thoroughly entertaining. If you have not checked it out, again, I think her name is Sydney Joe on TikTok. Again, it's called The Group Chat. Just search it. You will find it. I think it's like 5 episodes. It was great. Literally the whole internet was talking, and like to have like all these like verified accounts like chiming into like in the comment section like, oh my God, like it was amazing. So chef's kiss. So shout out to her. Great storytelling. You had us, like, you've captivated us. Can't wait till season 2. Check it out on TikTok. All right. So moving on, again, I told you this is kind of a quick one. Who child? I am a reality TV like junkie. And one of my favorite reality TV shows has probably always been Real Housewives of Atlanta. And they are in their 16th season. And there has been just all this drama on this event that happened. So this year there was kind of a shakeup from last season to this season, where a lot of main cast members are gone. We've got a bunch of new people, like Candy Burris left after last season. Who else left? Portia came back, and there's like a few new people: Angela Oakley, Britt Eady. What's the other girl's name? New girl. There's another new girl. I can't remember her name right now. Britt, Angela, Kelly. Can't remember Kelly's last name right now. And then you have, again, Portia came back. Shamia, who was a friend of the show, who's like best friends with Portia. She's a full-time housewife, peach holder this year. Drew Sidora's back. Kenya Moore and Cynthia came back as a friend of. So that's kind of the cast this year. So from last season, like Marlo's gone. Thank goodness. And a few other people are gone. Candy, my favorite. Oh my gosh, she's my fave. She's gone. But so we've kind of got a mix, and it took like a year, like almost like a year and a half for this new season to come back. So we knew a lot that was going to happen before it happened, but this last episode we got to see. So anyway, so it was episode 5. So the season kind of started with Britt kind of having a problem with Kenya. It's like, it was really, to me, unwarranted. So I guess for her it started because she said that Kenya was talking about her marriage or her ring or something. And Kenya literally was just like, oh, is this your first marriage? Because she was talking about having multiple rings. And so she doesn't know you. She's asking questions. And so Britt kind of took that as her being mean or kind of hazing her. And so that kind of starts it, whatever. And so they've had other interactions. So Britt is telling all these people, oh, Kenya's so mean and she's coming for me and this, that, and the third. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, she's delusional, y'all. But anyway, and then there's the last episode, they were at a restaurant, and apparently Kenya did not hug her. And so she was like, "Oh, you're still kind of being mean." And so at the, when they get together as a group, they decide to play these games. And so they were playing a game where they anonymously ask questions. And one of the questions to Kenya was, "Are you going to be nice? Are you going to say something nice to Britt?" And so Kenya was like, "Yes, I can be nice and be cordial to everybody." And Britt was like, "Well, you're not." And, just she is calling these issues, and she was like trying to have her moment with Kenya because she's a newbie, and like Kenya's like a vet, and like you're trying to comfort for Kenya. So anyway, so that causes an issue. I believe Kenya called her a peasant because she is the queen. So that starts, and then as they're leaving, you hear Britt talk about, "Oh, I've got a pow pow," and essentially she threatens Kenya, and nothing is done about it. They're like nothing. The girl still has a job, and she just things go on as usual. So in this last episode was the big thing that we all knew that was going to happen. So Kenya had her hair salon grand opening, and at that grand opening, she brings out these pictures of Brit. Um, they're calling it Revenge P, and just like really salacious, inappropriate pictures. Not saying it's right, um, which that caused Kenya to basically lose her job. So she is now off for the rest of the season. And it's just sparked a lot of debate in like the housewives world and like in social media and all things like that. And I just feel like both ladies are wrong. I think that if you are familiar with housewives and how like Kenya's been feeling, I feel like she over the last couple of seasons hasn't really felt protected by the network and by the producers and things like that. And so she felt that she needed to protect herself. And that's what she's saying that this was. But she took it too far. But I think Britt's threatening of her was also just as bad. Maybe not just as bad, but definitely that was kind of the catalyst for this. And I think both should have been punished because nothing happened to Britt. She's like, oh, the victim. And like Kenya essentially lost her job. So I think both ladies should have been punished, essentially, because again, both ladies did wrong. Not saying one was right over the other, but I definitely think that the threat should have been taken more seriously by the powers that be. And then if it had been taken more seriously, I think the other actions may not have happened. Just my 2 cents. So both ladies are wrong. Gotta miss Kenya. She was a staple on that show. She'd been there since maybe seasons 4 or 5, so well over a decade. When you think housewives, you think your Nene's, your Candies, your Kenya Moores. So I'm gonna miss her. So hopefully next season she can come back. Yeah, I'm not really feeling the Brit girl. Just not really feeling her. I'm gonna keep watching, see what happens, and go from there. So yeah, just want to put that out there. All right. So the last thing, I told you this was going to be a really quick episode. I decided one of my little guilty pleasures is to read those like Reddits of like, am I the a-hole? And so I decided to find one, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to just give my thoughts. So this one is AITA for refusing to let my alcoholic mother move in with me, even though she's homeless now. Ooh, okay. 29 female, bought a small house last year. Nothing fancy, but it's quiet, safe, and mine. For the first time in my life, I feel like I can actually breathe. Now for context, my mom, 52 female, is an alcoholic, and she has been as long as I can remember. My childhood was not a childhood. I was more like her emotional punching bag, personal therapist, maid, and sometimes target when she got too drunk and angry. She used to scream at me for wasting space or ruining her life. I remember being maybe 9 or 10, dragging her off the kitchen floor after she'd passed out from drinking again, terrified she was dead. She never remembered the things she'd say or do, or maybe she did and just didn't care. CPS was called once by my 5th grade teacher, but my mom cleaned herself up just long enough to fool them. Then my punishments got worse when they left. I left home the minute I turned 18. No contact for years. She only reached out again recently, and I kept things surface level because I'm still working through the trauma. Therapy has helped a lot, and I've spent years trying to build a life that's calm and not ruined by chaos. Last week, she called sobbing, saying she got evicted and has nowhere to go. She begged me to let her stay, quote, just for a little while. I asked her what happened. She wouldn't give me a straight answer, but I could already hear the slurring in her voice. I told her I was sorry, but I couldn't help her. She snapped, said I'm a cold-hearted bee, that, quote, after everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me, end quote, that I'm heartless for letting her own mother sleep in her car. Now, a few relatives are blowing up my phone, calling me cruel and selfish, saying she's my mother and she has nowhere to go. But none of them are offering to take her in, just me. I feel guilty. I do not want her to suffer, but I also know what it's like to live with her, and I'm scared that if I let her in, I'll never get my peace back. Ooh, boy. Child. All right, so I just read that. It's the first time I'm reading that. Initial thoughts: you are not the a-hole. People tend to think that just because they are family that they can treat you any kind of way. And unfortunately, especially our parents. I think as adults, we have to remember that, yes, they're our parents, but we're not children. We're their child, but we're not children, if that makes sense. And I absolutely 100% believe in protecting your peace and setting boundaries with family members. And it's hard. I know that it can come with some negative responses, which it sounds like it has for this young lady, from her mother as well as other family members. But I think I applaud her for putting herself first and not letting that need to like want to protect and save her mom put her in a position where she could later regret her decision. And it's so funny because I don't have anything nearly this bad or whatever, but I will remember when I first started therapy, when I was, talking about my mother with my therapist, she was like, you're a saver and you do things and I treat people the way I wish people would do for me. So I'm always quick to kind of jump in and stick up for people and save people. Even to like my job, like it all kind of relates to kind of helping others because I am trying to basically put out what I need and what I want from people that I didn't get. So it's really interesting. So that was kind of an eye opener for me when I first therapy. I think that was like session 1. That I'm a saver, and the reason why I do that is because I didn't get that, so that I'm trying to put out what I needed. So I definitely don't think she is wrong for setting that boundary. You can love people and care about people and want the best for people, but don't put yourself in a position that could hurt you and harm you later. At the end of the day, you've got to put yourself first. If you know that your mom has this pattern of like this disease or this pattern of not doing what's best for her, then unfortunately, this is a hard lesson that she's going to have to learn on her own. So definitely not the a-hole, and I applaud you and I wish you the best. I hope you the best. Just all my love to you because I know that's tough. And like kind of booty your family too, like the ones who are calling you selfish and cruel, but like, are they offering to let her stay? No, they're not, because they already know what it is. Because it's really easy to kind of judge from the side when you're not in the position, because y'all aren't offering up your houses or your couches or your spare bedrooms. So why do I have to put myself out there? But again, people, they can judge things that like they wouldn't do themselves. And this is very evident in this situation. So Again, I applaud you. You're, 29. I'm sorry, you went through all of that, growing up, but I applaud you and I wish you all the best. So, yay. Not the a-hole, okay? Not the a-hole, and I hope your mom gets the help she needs. All right, that's it, y'all. Like I said, this one's a quick one. So thank you for watching episode 6 of Off Script with Tiffany, where I share my random thoughts. We have a real talk with no script. If you would like to keep up, please follow me on social media, TikTok, like everywhere. It's Tiffany Blue, BLEUE. TikTok, Instagram, Lemonade, Rednote, all the things. So shout out there. And please follow both of I have 2 TikToks. So I have my regular TikTok page, that's Tiffany Blue. And then I have my health and fitness bariatric focused page, which is gastric _bypass _girly. We are working on getting our 1,000 members over there, followers over there, working on the 10,000 on the main page. So thank you all so much for listening. See me on social media. Please drop your comments, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Hopefully, tell me if you like this new setup versus the closet. I think I like this. I need some more lights though. We'll work on that. So anyway, probably put something in the background over here. But anyway, you guys have a great, awesome weekend. I will catch you on the next episode. This has been Off Script with Tiffany, where I share my random thoughts, have real talk with no script. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.